Okay, so you went to college and you um majored in education, and so from college, where did you go from there? Like, did you go straight into teaching? Did you have any other jobs from there? Like, where did you go right directly after?
So I did not finish at Eastern Michigan. I ended up getting pregnant with Jasmine, and then
Okay,
I met my ex-husband, and we moved to Georgia.
got it.
Georgia, I went into working for AT&T Bell. We called it Bell South back
Bell
then.
South. Mm-hmm.
hmm And
Yeah.
then it wasn't until I got laid off in, I believe, 1999, where I went back and finished um, at Mercer and Georgia State, and then that's what I finished what I started, which
You
was to
start
become
okay.
a teacher.
Get your degree. Okay. And so, what made you move to Georgia?
It was my ex-husband. He wanted to move, so we moved. He uprooted us, so we just moved to Georgia.
Oh, okay. So, did you meet your ex husband in college? Like, was he a college sweetheart?
No, oh no, we met working.
Oh, work. Okay.
Yeah, I was working. Yeah, we did not meet in college. No.
Oh, okay. But it was like in between that time, in
Yeah,
between.
well, it was after I had Jasmine. I met him right when Jasmine was little. Let's just say she was about 6 months, 6 or 8 months.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, because by then I said, "Oh, I gotta be responsible," so I got a job, and I still went to school, but I worked. I worked nights, but then that job when I met him, I worked days. So I think I took a temp job, and that's
Okay.
how I met him. He was working for Kodak, which was the photography company.
Yes, yes, I
hmm
remember. I remember Kodak. Yeah, yeah.
hmm
So now, because I want to kind of just get a little bit into more of that because I just like to kind of get a better understanding from different perspectives as far as how you go from, when you go through one marriage to another, like you go through marriage, you go through a divorce, and then you have the blended family. So I
hmm
wanted to get, but I'm gonna get more into that. But I just wanted to kind of see where you were at that time when you had your daughter Jasmine. You were married at the time, and so you were married at the time. You worked for
hmm
Bell South because you had to make sure you had to make some ends. You needed some
Right,
benefits, you needed some money, you had some bills.
right.
You
Once
know?
we moved to
So, yeah,
Georgia,
once you moved to
yeah,
Georgia, right.
yeah,
And so what was that experience like? Because I know that's another form of self-discovery right there,
yeah,
building that family life at that time.
right.
So,
And I was in my early
yeah,
20s, so I
right,
was
totally
like,
different,
yeah. So
totally
I had to
different. Yes,
grow up
yes.
real fast. So, um, what did you want to know again? I'm
And I
sorry.
wanted to know, that's right. Now I wanted to know, like, what was that like? Because that's like I said, it's another form of self-discovery because you entering in adulthood now. You're
Yeah.
becoming an adult. You had to put college on hold for a little while. Because you had,
hmm
because you had a child to raise, and so you had to work, and then you have a husband. So you start your family. So I wanted to know
Right.
how did you navigate through
Um,
that at that time? When because you were younger, younger then. So how did you navigate that at that time?
yeah, I was just young and I just learned, felt my way through. By then I was planted at a great church. So I had a
Oh,
good
okay.
godmother that was a godmother to Jasmine. Um, but I made a lot of errors and I had to learn my way through it. But it was hard.
Yeah, of course, of
Mhm.
course. But you attended church at that time. Was the whole family going, or just you and your daughter?
Yeah, we were all going. Yeah,
Okay. And
yeah.
so once you decided to go back to school, and that's you got your bachelor's at that time, and you said you went back got your bachelor's.
Well, I didn't. So once I got laid off in '99, by
Um,
then I had when I was working for AT&T Bell South. I don't know if I heard through the grapevine or whatnot. I didn't have no degree. I had college credit, but in order to
okay.
keep my decent job, I went back to school and I went to Mercer and I got a degree in organizational leadership, and then I got a project management certification at DeVry.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And so it wasn't until they laid me off that I went and went back to I went to Georgia State. That's what it was, Georgia State, to get my certification to teach. Of course, pass all the tests, and then I got a job teaching.
Were you a fellow? Did you start off as a teaching fellow, or you just went
Mm-mm.
straight into? Did you s
I actually started off as a paraprofessional.
a para okay.
Yes, I remember Sprayberry High School, and they had me in the basement with the kids that were on 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
and I worked with them. And I remember I got my first teaching job at KIP, and I had to tell those kids I was leaving. They were so mad because working with students with disability, um, certain kids, a student with disability, they don't like change. Um,
Right, right.
yeah, so I didn't take it personal because I understood. But I said, "Listen, I ain't making no money." So I got to go. I said, so, I'm sorry, but, I try to love on them, try to give
Right.
them I gave them what, 2 weeks notice, so they can try to get used to it, but they just couldn't, they were just so
Aw.
mean to me.
Mm,
And they were some big
mm.
kids because it was high school.
Yeah,
And we had this one kid that we had to pretty much take down
yeah, I can
every
imagine. Yeah.
day. So I was like, "Listen, I ain't gonna fight you today, sir."
Oh,
But
no, no.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you don't wanna do that. Yeah, because these kids, boy, I mean, they have no fear anymore. Nowadays, they have no fear of
They
anybody,
don't have no fear.
at all, and
Yeah.
that is scary. So, and I
Mhm.
wanna get more into that too because, I mean, I don't know how you do it, but we're gonna get more into that as well because I just wanna 'cause I wanna establish a timeline. That's why I'm trying to make sure that I cover some
Yeah, 'cause you
ground.
get me to tell you all my business. Pastor
Yeah,
Raymond trying to get
yeah,
me
yeah.
to give a testimony, and I said, "Listen, I'm just moving forward. God is good." I said, I thank God I don't look like what I've been through."
Absolutely, absolutely.
So,
Yeah, but I mean, because I mean, we all, we go through our struggles, and sometimes it's hard to disclose certain things. But you said that you went to therapy, so that's something that a lot of people don't even think about or consider
mhm.
doing. So I commend you for that.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
okay, so when you started, teaching, your first, that was your first teaching job, right? You said that was the first teaching
Yeah,
job.
my first teaching
Okay,
job. Yeah.
and were you still married at the time, or you that's
Oh, no, I was, divorced by then.
Okay, so you became a single mom, so now you really had to get in the grind, and
Yep.
and so what was next for you?
Next for me was so I was teaching there. I think I did 7 years at KIP, and then I
Oh,
was
okay.
able to go to APS. By then, I think I
Yeah.
was already had
APS,
my
Atlanta
master's.
Public Schools, for those who don't know. Mhm,
Yeah, so I went
mhm,
to that district, and I enjoyed
mhm.
working there. By then, I think I, was working on my master's degree in
Okay,
special education.
and where and what school?
Oh, University of West Georgia,
The University of West Georgia, and you said your master's was in,
special
it's special
education.
education. Wow, special education. Yeah, I remember
Mhm.
those days. I was in special ed. Yeah, shout out to Miss Jones, my teacher. Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, I can imagine how challenging that was. What grades did you teach then? What grades were?
I've been middle school for a long
Oh,
time.
middle
I
school.
just
Okay,
recently
that's
went
been
back
your
to
lane.
middle school.
Okay,
Yep. So when I got my first teaching job was middle school. So I've been working with those kids for a long time, for 7 years at that district. Yep.
okay. So let me ask you, Sister Nicole. So being that you have this background in special education, and like you said, that's been your lane for all these years. How does you teaching right now resonate with you, and how you had, how you had to be a student back then, like being a student, being in junior high school, having to endure bullying, having to endure certain things, lack of support, having to figure certain things out on your own. And so when you interact with the students now, how does that
Right.
resonate with you? How it was, as a,
As
being
a
on the other side of
teacher.
the fence.
So my teaching practice is one that I actually try to reach all my students, and their learning ability is totally different. So
Yes.
my perspective, one, I have to be patient. Two, I don't literally leave no child behind. Um, I will shout out to Kip. When I worked for Kip, we had the mindset of reach every child. And when I left to go to other districts, I did not see that same practice.
Mm,
I thought all teachers care. I thought all teachers go the extra mile. I don't, if you're in my classroom, parents have my telephone number. You can call and text me till this
mm,
day. That was a practice we had in the KIP, and that's a practice I have always adopted when I left to go to other districts. So I called my parents on my phone. They were like, Miss McGraw, I said, it's okay. I know it's 6, 10 o'clock. Whatever they baby need.
Wow.
I am one that is invested. And I'm really appreciative for my co-teacher. Me and her been together for 2 years, and she is a dynamic teacher. When I say she teach children like she teach her own children, and
That's
then
amazing.
we got it so that she takes a group, I take a group because we want to make sure that we reach those
How
kids.
many children do you teach? How many are there in your
There's
class?
20 right now. There's 20 in our classroom.
Mm. And so let me ask you this because being a teacher, like I said, I tip my hat off to you. First of all, let me just say that because I mean, being a teacher in any capacity, it's something that is not for the weak at heart. So I
Right.
just want to commend you for that because my question is how do you manage the work life balance? Because like you said, that switch doesn't go off. When you are dealing with children, it's like you are their parent as well. You're like a second parent to some of these children and
Right.
some of these children see you that way. So how do you um balance it, between your job as a teacher, grading papers, and getting needs met, having to probably purchase food and supplies, and trying to fill in the gaps and all that that you have to do, all that demand, and then having a home life.
Right. Thankfully, prices on the road. What I do is, to be honest, when I get off work, I immediately come home and stay downstairs and cook dinner. When I cook dinner, I go upstairs and then I get, if I need to write, depending on if I have to write, because I'm a special ed teacher, so I write IEPs.
Right,
I have
right.
to spend my evenings on writing those because there's no time in the day because I'm actually teaching. Um, and then I use my planning period in between after school to grade or put stuff in the grade book. I've always been one that is a master of multitasking. So and then I operate off a task list. So I have a checklist of immediate stuff that needs to be done, and I get to a stopping point and I can finish it, and I plan it where I can, if I need to finish it for the next day. And I'm not on the computer more than an hour or two if I'm at home, and it's not every day. So
Oh, so now let me ask you. So I'm gonna go back a little bit because I want to know, like, at the time that you was teaching, and how were you able to incorporate what you taught, or what your approach towards your children at school and your own children? Did you how does that experience like for you being a teacher to your students and then being a parent and a teacher at home with your own children?
yeah, my kids would tell you mama was a tough cookie. I would tell
Yeah.
you, and I think that's why
Yeah.
they're successful to this day because
Mhm.
um
Yes.
so when I have these meetings with these parents and they say how hard it is, I said I have to remind them I was a parent of three. My kids was not allowed to come home and watch TV. I checked their homework because a lot of them say, "Oh, I'm busy. I'm at work all the time." I say I work two jobs, and whether I was a teacher, so not trying to tell them there's no excuse. I say it's going to take a village. We got to work together.
Yes, absolutely,
If you
absolutely.
have to be at work, then do you have somebody else to help you, or because this time and day is totally different than how we were raised. If they after school, we'll allow them to stay after school, and we do tutorial. Michelle, my teacher, my co-teacher, and I, we will do tutorial, which is not required of us, but we will help them with their homework. So
Mm.
we also have that understanding that everybody don't have that support at home, so we try to find ways, whether it's lunch and learn, come back up and bring your lunch and get the help that you need.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mhm.
Because just even listening to you, I'm tired. I'm not even in school, but I'm ready to go home. I ain't even. Yeah, it is. But you know what? Can you like just? I know you gave me some cliff notes of how you structure um your workload, but just take me in the day in the life real quick. Like your typical day in the life of Miss McGraw. That's on a
um,
regular day.
so I operate out of a calendar. If it's not on my calendar, it did not happen. So, like,
Okay.
even for this thing, I had to write it in because I will forget, and I call it
Yeah, you better
menopause.
not. True, true.
But everything is in
Mhm,
my calendar. From the start of the school year, I look at what because my job's
mhm.
supposed to be I'm an IEP teacher, right? IEPs have to schedule meetings, schedule reevaluation. In addition to that, special ed teachers usually have bad reps because you may find them in the back room sitting down. That's not me.
Mm,
I'm up teaching. I'm pulling a small group. We're doing reading. We're doing math, helping them with writing, social studies, and science. So everything is in my calendar. From the time I come in, I'll make me some coffee, and then I may pull a small group during the homeroom, whether it's homework assistance, whether you miss something, and then from there we go throughout our block schedule of teaching. Um, the only break I get is possibly a lunch break, and there's a couple of times where my meetings went over because in addition to teaching, I hold IEP meetings, and this is the season where they're due annually, so every year.
right.
Because I'm the only fifth grader, I have 20 on my caseload that I have to write, and then we still identifying kids. So to be honest, a lot, and I'd be like, how do I do it?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. Those IEPs like 100 pages, just so
Right,
you know.
right. It depend on the disability and the needs. Um,
Yes,
I everything I'm gonna be honest, I plan everything out. Because I don't like to be one overwhelmed, two, I don't like to be unprepared. So because I
mhm,
plan it out and the dates are different, so like when we come back from break, I got 3 that month to write. I already wrote one already, and then I use that week. We come back to write the second one for the following week, and then vice versa. So like right now, I had to think and prepare. Um, and now I'm actually able to woosah for break because I made sure I did
yes,
everything
yeah,
based on my
absolutely.
schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, please rest. Oh, Lord.
I even had to get
Yeah,
the progress reports out. And
yes.
I was gonna wait. I said, "No, let me just sacrifice and try to push through and get them done." Thankfully, I'm like, "Woo," I'm so excited. Price is like, "Oh, Lord." I said, "You know how I am." He said, "I like this holiday, Nicole, because I'm like, I don't gotta do no work. I put my computer up.
Yes,
I only
right.
open it to have this meet with you."
Yep, that's right, that's
Yeah,
right.
but everything you have to prepare, and then, however, I will have to open it on Sunday, uh, not this week, but the following Sunday to do lesson plan, but we already talked it out, so I already know what I'm gonna write up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, how so children got the attention span of a pea. So how do you keep their attention? How do you I mean, how do you really like get them to really focus? Because that right there, I mean, somebody's going to be disruptive. There's going to be someone that's going to give you a hard time. There's going to be someone that's just struggling. So how do you keep their attention?
One, you engage in lesson. The kids that I work with uh, are low, meaning they're maybe 2 to 3 and below grade level. So I teach fifth.
Right.
So I teach. My co-teacher now, she takes the third. Who, if you place 3 and up, she takes those kids, and I take 2 and down. That's the best way we can get the best bang for our buck. Um, and so I have to really I do a lot of repetition with them because of their working memory. And I'm gonna just be honest. If you know me, them kids really they know I love them, so therefore they give me the respect. And I said we don't have time for disruption. Um, I'm just gonna be honest. And if you want to disrupt, you're gonna have Miss McGraw, the mean McGraw, and you don't want that.
No,
Um,
no.
yeah. So for the most part, we've been blessed to have some great kids where disruption is not an option. We're trying to get you where you need to be. If you're disrupting me, then we're going to inconvenience home. Um, so that's the best way I
That's
can
it.
say
That's the best way. No, no, I get it. No,
that.
good answer right there. Yeah, but
Because
so let me ask you. Yeah,
my job is to teach,
yes,
and I told those kids, I said, um, if teachers allow you to just sit in the back room, they do not care about you.
at all.
Obviously, right. And I said, my job is to pick up, we got to bridge the gap of where the ball was dropped and get you to fifth grade. And it's sad that, so many kids have just been left behind. But
Yeah.
I get about 2 hours for reading, seem like maybe an hour and a half. and I still need more time. It's not enough because I'm
Yeah.
covering phonics, I'm covering
Yes.
high frequency
Mm,
words, I'm covering reading,
merging.
and reading comprehension, the skills, whatever skill for that week. And it's a
Yeah.
lot that I have to cover in a short amount of
Absolutely,
time.
and you can't save them all, unfortunately,
Yeah,
you can't catch them all, you know?
yeah.
You do all you can do, but let me ask you, like, what and I know it's you have many challenging students, but what was the most challenging student that you had, and how did you handle it? How are you able to get to that promised land with with that child, so to speak? Yeah.
Um, Imma tell you 2 stories. Imma tell you my year I kept. This kid was brought to us. I've been teaching there for a couple of years now, and this kid was brought to us. I don't know what district I think he came from Clayton or something. And everybody know my methodology. This particular kid stole my phone,
Oh.
um, and lied about it, but the students told
Mm.
me. Then he did something where he threatened another teacher. So at the end of the day, we had to do homebound. Um, they asked me would I do it because I'm special ed, and of course I went. Um, and he lived right in the hood, and I drove up. Mom said, "Make sure you leave at a certain time." I said, "Don't worry, I will." Um, but I let the kid know I care about you. I'm here. I taught the kid all the way to the end of the school year. Maybe a year later, mom called me, and they went back to Clayton because the kid got in trouble wherever he went, so he kept get kicked out. So mom called me, the teachers called me. It was like, "Can you sit in this IEP meeting?" Um, and so I just try to help them through best support that kid. Um, Understand we can't save all kids, but my job as a teacher is to give him my absolute best, no matter
Right, yes.
what
Mhm.
stage that he's in. That was one of my most memorable students, and I've had a lot of. I had a schizophrenia.
Mm.
She was at the early stages, and and then we'll talk about test scores in a minute. But she had to take back then it was called the CRCT. I don't know how I did it, and she remember and then she forget, remember and forget. I just kept teaching her, and then when it was time to take the CRCT. She made enough to pass. I said, "Oh, thank you, Jesus."
Mhm.
And she struggled in high school, but I was just shocked that I, got her to pass. And then just recently, I had a kid that was a smart, intelligent student. My teacher and I had to remain consistent working with him because he would have tantrum tantrums anywhere from "I don't want to do this" and he'll storm out the room, or he'll sit and cry real loud, whatever. I'm like, "Look
Mm.
around you, read the room. Do you see any other
Right.
fifth graders having tantrum tantrums?" No, I kid you not. The time we got done, because I called the meeting, I said, "Mom, Dad, we can't keep going on like this. What are some of the
Right.
strategies you use?" And they say, "All we do is coddle him." I said, "You understand? He's going to go to middle school. That's not going to work." So I
Mm-mm.
gave them some suggestions. They knew it came from a loving place, not a hatred place, but a place of love, and prepare him for not just fifth grade but beyond. So they did their part, got them the services that they need, and he still had little outbursts, but it got less and less. When I kid you not, that kid loves me. I got him in Beta Club. I fought, advocated for him. I said you should be in the gifted program, but they didn't want him in there because of he always had tantrums. I said I get it. However, no one spent the time to teach him a new behavior. You
Mhm,
just kept
mhm.
writing him off. You got to teach him, and you have to be consistent.
Yes.
Mm. So, that was one of my most memorable, and I have plenty other stories to
Of
tell.
course. Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that kid did a complete turnaround. He's an accelerate one of the accelerated class for math.
Nice, nice.
Um, he was in Beta Club. His mom and dad was there to watch him in fifth grade. And he act like he had sense. He sat in there quietly. I would check in on him. So I told that little boy, "I'm so proud of you," because he did the work.
Wow.
Everybody, all the village did the work. Like stop calling him.
Absolutely.
We need to make him a young man.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.